All right, so pasta, guys, right?
Ooh, my favorite.
So it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So we have dry. So this is like.
We got to do this more often, man. I'm
So
telling
this
you.
is Rusticellica. This is like one of my favorite brands ever, right? This is cavatelli, right? Something I grew up very fondly with, right? Like so, cavatelli would be rolled in a fork in your hand, right?
I like cavatelli because it's like penne, but
Yes,
the
but it
sauce
absorbs.
gets captured.
What I made earlier for you today, I made it my great grandmother's famous lobster raviolis.
Oh, man.
right?
I love that.
And it's gonna be simple. It's just gonna be a little brown butter, a little mirepoix, and little lemon, right? We also make at the club tagliatelle, which is my favorite for bolognese tagliatelle.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show you guys a difference, right? So you see how yellow that is? Right? And this is a little more off-white,
Yeah.
right? So this is 100% egg yolks. That's all. This is egg yolk pasta. Egg yolk and 00 flour. This we use eggs, whole eggs.
Yeah.
So that's why you have the whiteness in there. Because what we want is the lacticity, right? This we're not stretching that much.
Yeah.
With pasta, we're stretching it. We're stretching it. With a ravioli, I want to keep it contained.
Yeah.
Because I want this would be, it's a quick cook for al dente. This fresh pasta, you're never really going to get super al dente, but with the egg whites, with the white, you'll get it, right? So with a dry pasta,
Okay.
you got to cook it to what it says on the back. There's instructions because there's instructions, right?
Yeah.
Especially with dry pasta. You want to cook it, right?
Yeah.
But you want to cook it to al dente, right?
Sure.
Right, to the tooth, right?
All right.
Is that what al dente is?
Yeah, to the tooth,
Oh, okay.
right? So
You
here's
didn't know that, bro? Come on.
So wait.
No, I did.
All right. So in America, right, when we say al dente, that means mush to everybody, right?
Bush, okay. All right.
No. so my early culinary days when I was working at Nove, right? George Maloof every year would send me to Italy to train and to explore.
And for the audience, Maloof.
George Maloof,
Yeah, he was owner of the
owner of the Sacramento Kings.
owner of the Kings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Palms Hotel. So every year they would send me to Italy to cook and travel and work in certain restaurants or wineries or prosciutto plants. And but when I would go there, everything was true to what al dente means, to the tooth, right? And I understood why, because when when you live in these parts of Italy, you're not eating a lot of meat, you're eating a lot of pasta, so that chew felt relevant like that. And you're eating something hearty, you know what I mean? So not eating something soft and wimpy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you had that chew to it, right? So you're chewing, so that's why al dente, to the tooth. So every time I would come back to after my trips, I'd tell all my chefs and everything like that, we're changing it. We're going to al dente, and I'm going to teach you guys what al dente is, right? Everyone's like, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't give a fuck. I was in Italy. This is how we got to eat this food. I'm representing where I came from, right?
Yeah.
Friday night comes, we start. But come the rush, this pasta comes back. This pasta comes back. All these pastas come back.
No.
And I get it because Americans aren't used to that. They don't understand it. They think it's raw. But but it's not.
You'd have to educate
pasta,
them.
so when you get rigatoni, so they're right?
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, just fucking cook the pasta. But like, listen, especially in Las Vegas, maybe not in LA as much, but Vegas, we got the builders convention. These guys want steak, potato, and meat. You know
exactly every meal. I guess you got to know your audience a little bit.
Yeah. For me, I like the salt water because I don't have a heavy hand with salt. Right? That's my first stage of salt. Right? That's another thing. Like chefs got to understand what salt is. So for me, it boils quicker, right? And it gives a flavor to water, right? But with salt is a tricky thing, right? Yeah, that's salted, and then that's salted. And if you do another dish, you're putting salt.
Yeah.
You know, that's why a lot of chefs don't understand, right? But when I make a dish or I have a conversation, I understand a dish, I eat it from start to finish.
Yeah.
I don't eat like 3 bites. Wow, that's the greatest bite, right?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people say, "Oh, the dish is salty," because you ate the whole dish. You ate the whole veal chop dish.
Yeah.
It got salty. Why? Because you salted the potatoes.
Yeah.
You salted the veal. You salted this, right? and then the sauce is salty. So by the time your salt palate just adds up.
Yep.
You need a little water after that.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations for people like when they?
I'd rather say, listen, here's salt and pepper. You're not offending me.
Yeah. Put it on after.
Yeah. I'd rather use salt and pepper it than send it back and say it's too salty.
Right.
Because if there's in a lot of dishes that we eat out, right, it's a components, right? So you have the protein, you have the starch, you have the vegetable, right?
Yeah.
If they're all salted, by the time you eat, and that's what another chef doesn't think about, or a young chef doesn't think about. Did you eat that dish? Oh, I tasted I tasted that.
One bite could be great, but an entire dish.
But the whole dish, you know. And then the chef's like, "Oh my God, it's not salty." Well, yeah, you didn't fucking sit. You didn't spend $85, right? And eat the whole dish. And at the end of the night, you want a gallon of water.
Yeah.
Just wake up in the middle of the night.
You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So I get it. So I saw one component, and then we'll get to it. So fresh raviolis, you just dip them in there. The water's like a big bubble bath.
Nice.
It's rolling.
How many times have you been to Italy?
20 times.
Wow.
I've been going since I was a little kid.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
Both sides of the family.
Have you spent extended time there? Like
the longest I was there was 4 months.
That's a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
4 months in Florence.
1/4 a year.
Yeah.
So what is it about the food there? Is it really like, because obviously you hear about no preservatives, it's more fresh. I mean, obviously that's not fake, right? Like that's a real thing.
Not at all.
I feel that when I eat there, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't feel the super
It doesn't
lethargic
feel heavy.
from the pasta. Right. What are some secrets about that you can kind of share with us that you've experienced over the years?
There's not a fucking grocery store anywhere.
Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's not an AM/PM. There's not a ShopRite. There's not a Kroger's. There's not anything, right? You're gonna go to the meat guy that slaughtered the beef. You're gonna go to the lamb guy. If there's fish. You're gonna go get the tomato where the tomato guy came from.
Yep.
You're going to markets. You know what I mean? It's all organically grown. Raised the right way. Right? There's no preservatives. There's no. You want milk? Well, you know where the milk comes from. The goddamn cow.
Cows in the
Go
back,
find a
baby.
cow, man.
So that's where it becomes so beautiful. Will, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is, listen, you're in Rome. It's Roman food.
I love Rome.
You're not gonna have a dish from Florence. You're not gonna have a dish from Sicily. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
For anybody that's interested in traveling or planning on traveling to Italy, what are like maybe one to three? Tucci.
And they canceled that show? What the fuck's the matter with that, dude? Why? Why'd they cancel it?
I don't know, man.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. Well, now I'm going to, bro. Yeah.
Well, I don't know Tucci.
Yeah.
Tucci, he's like he wrote it like he's like Anthony Bourdain, but Tucci wrote about like the truth, like he's an actor. I don't know, an actor, something like that.
Yeah.
But he goes to all these places in Italy.
That's great. So follow his stuff. Where to go, what to do. Yeah.
I would say there's the Michelin guides and everything.
Yeah.
But it's also like you gotta explore it, man. You gotta get.
Well, dude, I went out there and the guy I think he passed away.
Tucci.
But
yeah.
But not him, but this guy. So they told us about this guy that like once a month or something like that. He opens up his house and only seats 4 people.
Oh, really?
At once a month or something like that. And then you come in and you get this like unbelievable like multiple course meal that you can only get there. But it's just like there's things like that all over the place. Man, or if you get invited, like I remember I had some friends out there and they invited me to go to their family's house, man, have dinner with them.
That's the one thing that's amazing in any culture outside ours, that everyone's pretty much like come in and hang out and eat, Here it's like, So if I'm just like cooking like for friends and family or we're just hanging out, I like to always take the plate and put a little olive oil, a little cheese, a little cracked black pepper, right? Because I'm not a big sauce, but like pasta, like you don't need it to be too saucy and everything.
The condiments are kind of built in, right?
Yeah.
Pennies in there.
Is that chicken cutlet?
That's a Jersey chicken cutlet. That kid from the Giants, the quarterback, he got all his fame for a chicken cutlet. I make the original chicken cutlet. I grew up on a chicken cutlet. I'm going to explain what the fucking chicken cutlet is because I'm pissed that this kid for the Giants, he went like this with his, oh man.
We definitely need the chicken cutlet story for sure.
So here we go. We got a little lobster raviolis.
Oh, wow.
So I just paired it with a little mirepoix, a little butter, a little brown butter, a little white wine, and a lot of lemon. But so with the mirepoix is carrot, celery, and onions that I reduced down. But it just gives it that crunch that you want.
Man, it smells good.
And this is the family recipe, right?
Yeah, this is my great grandmother's little lobster ravioli with egg pasta. So on the outside, you're going to get the al dente. Then as you go in, it's going to get a little softer. So on the outside, when I say al dente, it has a bite to it, it has a chew.
This is the Italian version, not the American.
Not the American. So you got the carrot, celery, and onions, so you got freshness, right? Yeah. And then you got lemon, which everything like lemon, right? Then you have the lobster that's inside. And then
so much flavor.
So everyone says like, oh, cheap,
right?
Right? And so I use Parmesan Reggiano, and I use a 24-month Reggiano. So with Reggiano, that's another story that we'll talk about, right? But it's basically salt, right? It's like Mexican. It's a table cheese, right? So the process of it, that it has lime in it and it's been cured for so long. Yeah. So basically, that's the salt that I want you to taste, right? Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? It's not salty.
No.
The brown butter. I brown the butter. I get a ounce of wet, right?
There's so many different like layers of flavor in this thing, like, and there's just like it's still so fresh,
but it's light.
It's light. It's not like nothing's overbearing or like beating one thing out or the other, and then it's like it's just good, man. This is
good eating, dude.
Yeah.
And I really do prefer an al dente pasta.
Yeah.
A little harder, right?
Yeah.
And like I also really like crunchy stuff with my food. That's why I always eat.
Well, that's
like
why I
chips
think the
with a
mirepoix,
sandwich
because
or-
you're eating, and it's also fresh, right? Carrots
100%.
are fresh, celery's fresh. You know what I mean?
That's why it's just perfect, dude.
I mean, visually, it looks great.
Pasta's a craft, and I've always, since my childhood, seeing my great grandmother, make pasta. It's always like, so if I'm having a bad day or pissed off or something like that, I'll just go and make pasta. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But we have, you guys are lucky. You guys are in LA. Like, you guys got Felix. Like, dude, you got some badass, some guys that know how to cook over there. You know?
Yeah, we don't got Geno though.
Nah, you come to the summit, you always have Geno.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to Craig. We got Craig's out in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I love Craig. He taught me a lot. He's an awesome restaurateur.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, right? He knows how to work the business.
Another person that was close with Jerry Weintraub as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old school Italian movies, right?
Oh yeah.
Right? There's a dish called Olio.
Olio.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Two things, garlic and olive oil. But how to make this takes years and years of cooking. And I'm not bullshitting you. I'm going to teach you why. How to get the olive oil at the right temperature, right? So it's nice and garlicky brown, right? That's what now, smell it?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That's the olio, right? And your water and your pasta, right?
So the pasta water you're throwing in there.
Yeah. Now, garlic, when it gets to this flavor, it's nicely caramelized, right? Then it's parsley. Then it's a little Parmigiano Reggiano.
Oof. Jeez.
Then I put the cracked black pepper in there. You don't need salt because everything else is salty. So you go to restaurants all over New York City, and you say, hey, let me get some olio, the fucking meat chef be like, get the fuck out of here. It's time consuming because it's got to be perfect. I tell you to fuck off because you got to get the garlic to that consistency. This is olio, but the garlic's got to get to that point, and it's a hard thing to do and manage.
Caramelized, yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, you got it. Oh, I want olio. How do you mean you can't cook olio? Because it's precise. The garlic's got to be at that specific thing. It's not burnt, right? You took the garlic to the most point where it becomes. You get a little brown butter in it, and with the olive oil and the cheese and the parsley.
You're right.
Like, this is a difficult dish to make. This isn't.
You can tell that it's like normal ingredients cooked in a different way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you got that one big bite.
There we go.
One bite
a
in.
little bit for Will, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to.
But you know what I'm saying? So, like the garlic, you gotta get it to a point where it's just right, and when to put the extra virgin olive oil there, when to put the cheese, and how to put the parsley there. That's a dish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
And subscribe and hit the bell for a whole lot more to come.